We absolutely killed it yesterday. Can we do it all over again today? And why downgrading of a stock may not be what you think it may be. Coming up right now, this is Pounds for Breakfast. Okay, good morning, you beautiful humies. Guys, it is Tuesday. Listen, we absolutely smashed it in the markets yesterday. If you're with us, you're part of Premium Plus. Just a massive well done to every single one of you. We had a bit of a rough morning, but we absolutely dominated. Now, listen, if you missed yesterday's Pounds for Breakfast weekly forecast, I'm going to link that video right here. You can go ahead and rewatch it. Everything we spoke about in the markets that happened in that show materialized over the space of that day, and actually sent out signals exactly based on what I said on that show. That's how we profited immensely in Premium Plus. Now, again, for those of you who want to be a part of Premium Plus, again, there is a massive discount provided you have an HFM live account. So link down in the description, open up that account, get it funded, and get absolutely crazy value, right, guys? It doesn't happen anywhere else other than Premium Plus. Now, it's daily signals, daily market opportunities directly from me, as well as at the end of the week, we are launching our copy trade facility. You heard me right, copy trade. You've been asking, you've been begging, you've been pleading. It is now here, it's ready, it's tested, it is coming, meaning you can sit back, relax, and have your account copied exactly, trade per trade, how I trade, and sit back and profit while you learn, while you earn, and so much more. So that is coming at the end of the week, but you need to be a Premium Plus subscriber in order to get that. So go down below, smash the link, get into the Telegram free group, register, chat with our bots, get subscribed, get registered, and I'll see you on the other side of that withdrawal. Now let's jump into the markets. Let's talk about the first thing this morning, and it's a very interesting subject. I've seen this over the years, and I've always wanted to speak about it, and so this morning is the perfect opportunity to dive a bit deeper and explain what this means. So let's open up and let's have a look what the rest of the world is talking about this morning. So on Yahoo Finance, one of the biggest articles that's popping up right now is stock market's biggest winners are getting downgraded, right? The question is, downgraded by who and for what, and what are the reasons, and what do these downgrades mean, right? And this has happened over the years, and I've often from time to time received these questions, but on a ad hoc basis. A great opportunity to explain, and this may not be for the reason that you think it may be, right? So let's talk about it. So what is a downgrade, right? These can happen to stocks, they can happen to bonds, they can happen to debt, right? And in most cases, in the more official capacities, as far as debt, as far as countries, as far as bonds, these will happen by specific ratings agencies, right? Moody's being one of them, right? Now, they basically look at some of these fundamentals around this particular asset, and they would give it a rating. For those of you who watch The Big Short, if you haven't, I highly recommend go ahead and do it. But ultimately, they rate these bonds as AAA, A, B, trash, etc. Right? Now, that's a great way to basically look at this instrument and tell investors, listen, this is solid, rock solid. It's great stuff. If you buy it in relation to its peers, it's going up. It's got yield, it's got dividends going in the right direction. But what happens when we talk about stock markets? What happens about when we talk about, in this particular case, Tesla? Who is giving these downgrades? Who's giving these sort of advices, if you will, right? And in most cases, these things come from banks. These things come from Wall Street. These comes from hedge funds, right? And over the years, I've always been quite cynical about, what is their reason for updating the public as to what the status of this particular asset may be, right? And if you read a little bit deeper into it, these stocks, these tech industry entities, these publicly listed companies are upgraded and downgraded for the same reasons that governments, bonds, and debts are, right? So underlying fundamentals have changed. However, if you read into it a little bit deeper, I want you to think about this, and I'd love to know your opinion just after we've wrapped this up on what you think about this. As you guys know, for anybody to sell something, there needs to be a willing and able buyer. Okay. Now, you guys have known, and if you've gone through the past Quantum Growth Markets Academy or any of my online teachings about buying and sellers, bulls and bears, and the fight that happens there between, there has to be a buyer, there has to be a seller, right? Now, what do you do with a stock that is rising? How do you cash out your profits? How do you close that position once you've made enough money, right? In the case of a stock, in the case of a bond, you would need to sell your position. You don't just close your trade like we do on MT4, MT5, and MT4, MT5. We look at the chart and we say, we've got enough profit, close. As you guys know, through the Quantum Growth Markets Academy, closing is not just simply closing, but it's selling back the position you originally bought or sold. In these particular cases, for some of the biggest investors in these stocks, in order for them to be able to buy a stock, they need a bunch of people who are selling that stock, right? So in a lot of these cases, when we see these downgrades, and if you read a little bit deeper into it, it creates an opportunity for a stock to essentially start to take a little bit of a turn. If you look on average, whenever these big downgrades, stocks can move anywhere from 2 to 15%. And these create opportunities for investors to get out of their positions. But at the same time, whilst the public, while people reading this go, oh no, what's wrong with Tesla? While they're dumping their stock, guess who's buying back up that stock, right? And this is speculative, but I can almost 100% guarantee, based on what I know, that the people that are buying back that stock are the people who've sold it earlier for their profit, right? So the second it makes a bit of a downturn, people are rebuying it. So often when we hear about these downgrades, who ends up losing, right? Who ends up essentially taking the fall for this kind of information? In most cases, it's the retail investor, the guy that's listening to this and hearing bad things about Tesla. When for those of you who've been with us and been with me over the past couple of years and listening on some of these investor calls, if you listen in on the investor call with Elon, out of all the big tech companies, Tesla is one of the best stocks right now, not only to buy, but to hold long term. And again, that's just my personal opinion. It's not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. But if you were there listening, that was the truth. You heard the data from the horse's mouth. But in this case, it's Wall Street, right? And what's their incentive to advise people that, hey, Tesla stock's not doing so great, or we're downgrading its profitability long term? What is their incentive? Is their incentive people to get rid of that position and they buy it back up? I don't know, but I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments below. This has been a topic I've been dying to speak about. And just purely because the title of this article, right? The stock's biggest market winners are getting downgraded, right? So I will link this down below as well if you want to read a little bit deeper into it. Looking at the news, some of the craziness that's happening around the world with regards to Putin, with regards to the Wagner Group pretty much going array, as well as the Ukraine issues, may have been a good thing for South Africa, right? We might be in a position we don't have to deal with all this chaos in terms of Putin potentially being here in the next little bit, which I'm all in for. I think that's great. I think that is absolutely perfect. We don't need any more than what we've currently got on our plate right now. Looking at the S&P 500 heat map for yesterday, that's being Monday, the 26th, we can see it's a little bit of a mixed bag, right? Where we can see that energy in some sectors performed extremely well, but a little bit of a mixed bag on the tech sector, as well as on communications and healthcare. On tech sector, I will explain because we can see it very clearly, as well as financial, because it's kind of very transparent when we look at the NASDAQ versus US 30 or S&P 500. In addition to that, guys, I just want to quickly touch on the economic calendar for today. Yesterday was a fairly quiet day, right? Today's gonna be the first day we're going to see some activity. So let's just zoom in on the key items that you need to know about, that you need to be paying attention to. So from 2 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to start to get a bunch of data that is going to come in and have a bit of an effect on the market, right? The first item is going to be some of these building permit data on the dollar, going to have a little bit of a ripple effect on the dollar. Again, more building permits being issued, good for the dollar, good for the US economy. So you're going to want to look out there for higher than expected readings. Could be short opportunities on commodities, could be short opportunities on the stock market or indice markets, right? We've got some Canadian inflation data that's coming in, got some CPI data that's coming in, and then on the US dollar, still at 230, we've got some durable goods orders data coming through. But then for me, the biggest item for the day and what I'm looking out the most for is going to be the CB consumer confidence, as well as some new home sales data. Right, for me, that is going to pretty much push the market and determine some opportunities. Now remember, and key for those of you who may have forgotten, there is going to be a couple things happening, right? So we have 2 o'clock, the US market opens up. We see a bunch of volume come in. We're going to have some fundamental data events at 2. We're going to then have some fundamental data events at 2:30. We then have the New York Stock Exchange, right, open up at 3:30. Then we've got that fundamental dates coming in 4. So this afternoon is going to represent a ton of opportunities, and I will be sending some of these trades live into Premium Plus. Now, in addition to that, guys, if you want to be a part of DVD Markets Free, the link is down below. Jump into that group. We will be sending out a request form into the free group that if you would like to jump into DVD Markets Premium Free, right, which is where you'll get one free signal day. I'll pick a trade, it might be in the morning, might be in the afternoon, but I'll send through one premium trade a day that you can just get a little bit of a taste of what everybody else is getting in Premium Plus. That form will go into the group. You can fill in, give us a little bit of your information so we can save some of your data, and then we will give you access to that group through the form. Right, so if you want to be a part of that, definitely take advantage of that. Now, really quickly, before we get into the markets and before we get to what I really would like to show you, I just want to show you guys something else. I keep stumbling upon some amazing benefits when it comes to HFM across the board, right? The first thing I want to talk about is their loyalty and rewards programs, which is absolutely amazing. Depending where you start, I only registered for this, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the 25th, when I stumbled upon it. But basically you get a status, and you get, depending on how many days you trade on your particular profile, this is a different profile from my normal one. You get upgraded, you move from red to platinum, gold, etc., and you move across the board, which I think is absolutely amazing. Now, in this, you accumulate these HFM bars, right, which you can cash back into real dollar terms, or you can go ahead and cash out into different services and pretty amazing features, right? Over and above that, there is the Traders Award, right? This is absolutely free. You can enter into this, and basically they will look at your trading activity, and every single month they obviously hand out cash prizes as well as give out obelisks and put you into the run to be in the HFM Hall of Fame. So guys, please feel free, go in, jump in, and obviously play around with your back office. There's some amazing features. Every day I stumble upon something new, and I'm just calling the team like, guys, this is amazing. We need to tell the public about this. So if you didn't know, now you do, as well as I. So let's jump in and let's have a look why we're really here. And that is for the markets, that is for the trades. So let's just jump straight into it. Brilliant. So first things first is we're going to have a look at Bitcoin, right? Again, if you missed yesterday's video, I'm going to be saying this a few times. I'm going to put the link right here. You're going to want to rewatch yesterday, so you will be doing yourself a favor to obviously catch up with that. But in any event, we looked at Bitcoin. This is a 4-hour time frame. Now, Bitcoin was on the up and up, and we had yesterday afternoon a little bit of a press into the zone. But as I explained, I needed Bitcoin to clear that $31,000 to a coin. We made a temporary push, and then obviously after trading hours collapsed back down. So very keen to see where this goes. A lot of opportunity here. And again, should we break that $31,000 to coin, you best believe we are sending out a trade. We are taking advantage of that setup, right? Now, moving on into USD ZAR, this is a super interesting one. Again, if you guys were part of yesterday's show, I explained why we were doing what we were doing, right? So having a look really quickly at USD ZAR, yesterday we were kind of floating. At the time we produced yesterday's video, we were sitting around about there. I explained on USD ZAR we could have a pull down to that 61.8, and then we will potentially set up a pending order to activate and then move out and gain some pips on the way to the top side. Now, we went and did that, and our clients from around the world profited on a USD ZAR position. Quick, easy pending order set up on their phone, activated, in profit, took profit, made some money, quick and simple. However, we are seeing a secondary opportunity today, right? So I explained yesterday on USD ZAR to close up some of those positions. We had a stop loss already, decent amount in profit, about 70 or 80 pips in profit. We've pulled back down, and I've adjusted my sort of market structure, if you will. This is on a 15-minute time frame USD ZAR, and there is going to be a potential secondary opportunity this morning for another 61.8 buy. So that's just an absolute freebie for those of you who want to jump in or aren't a part of Premium Plus. There will be some conditions here as to when I enter, and again, I will send that trade directly into Premium Plus. Now, in addition to that, let's quickly just talk about gold, because gold was an absolute smasher yesterday. Now, again, yesterday morning, we had a little bit of trouble in the morning in terms of that direction, but ultimately gold started pressing up, and I explained that we're going to be looking for short opportunities right here in that 1932, 1933 mark. However, I sent a short opportunity on 1933 on the dot, right? Markets went straight up to 1933, pulled down, came, I think we took some profit, pulled back up, We held it, pulled down, and then ultimately on the New York Stock Exchange session, it absolutely collapsed. Now, here are the two trades from yesterday, right? Again, on gold, we closed that final position at about 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and we banked 80 pips of profit on that final position, but we banked about 140 pips total on those three positions, right? The same thing on USD ZAR. We had USD ZAR running at about 100 pips of profit with another 140 pips banked, so about 240 pips, and that was about 6 o'clock yesterday with our stop loss already in 50 pips worth of profit. So once again, guys, if you want to be a part of that, there's no better time, right? Hit the link down below, jump into the groups, get that HFM live account funded, get into Premium Plus. There has never been a better time other than now, right? So let's quickly have a look at indices, because there is some great opportunities here. And obviously, as I explained yesterday, markets were moving, markets were falling, and they did exactly what we looked at yesterday, right? So we were here yesterday and we looked at the opportunity for US30 to potentially start breaking downside. I think we were there, and I would have liked a further push to the top side. So I didn't give an entry to a sell, as I explained yesterday, looking for that sell. Markets ended up just pretty much popping off at about 9 a.m. in the morning, started falling. So I was looking for potential higher entry point to get short. Markets ended up selling. However, I want you to see the difference now when we look at US30 versus US 100. So US30 made that push down, touched off on some lower lows there, but have now started to break out of this channel, right? I also want to point out that we have some resistance levels just above our current position. This is Dow Jones US30, and this is on a 15 and 5 minute time frame. You can switch between the two, but ultimately I'm looking at that level of resistance. But again, I'm looking at that high from yesterday, right? That is going to be a key level for me, and that high of yesterday will be basically where I will start to trigger some alerts. Now, just a tip for those of you who know, if you're on desktop, just right click and set up an alert, right? Provided your PC is on, you will get an alert when price reaches that level, and it gives you some sort of indication. So I'm going to look for long positions, and again, it will depend on what time this breaks through and what are the other market variables. Again, as I mentioned, please be aware there are these other fundamental data events, and I may choose to hold out, wait for confirmation depending on these events. So a breakout doesn't just constitute a buy or sell. There are some other variables you want to take into account. So just please bear that in mind. So that's US30. Just quickly having a look at US 100. Right, I'll go into a 15-minute time frame as well. I explained yesterday, US 100 was in a very similar type of position. Let's just quickly go into yesterday. We were around about there yesterday morning, that we should still see that sell continuation. Not high enough yet for me to have seen it as a good value proposition for a sell, but it ended up selling off over the morning yesterday with a pullback on the New York Stock Exchange, and then a major sell-off on that key reversal point, which is 4 o'clock. So again, remember, part of Premium Plus, 4 o'clock is a key reversal time. There are some things that constitute and justify and contribute towards that 4 o'clock reversal being as potent as it is, but we did end up seeing it. However, I just want you to pay attention to the fact that on US30, we have ended substantially lower than when we look at its counterpart on US30, right? So a couple things here. US30 certainly looking keen for a breakout towards our top side. So definitely something we do need to look out for. With that being said, that may also give us some buy opportunities on US 100. However, US 100's major support is substantially lower than our current position, right? Another 700 to 800 pips south of our current position. So again, I would like to look for some other factors, some other variables to consider a potential to start going long here. Another quick way, if you're watching this, you're not part of Premium Plus, you're sharpening up your skills, you sort of masking up the bravery to jump in and really take this seriously, then I can basically give you a really cool trick to help you in most cases get into a position in the morning, specifically on indices, right? First trick here is dive really deep, right? So 1 minute time frame, you want to be nice and early. At this point in time, it's around about 6:50 in the morning at this time of recording. This video will probably go out and you'll see this at probably about 8 a.m. and it might have moved already, but you can go ahead and judge based on after the fact how accurate this was. You simply want to map out the immediate price action, right? You can see yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening on in this particular case, US 100, nice big candles. So we're seeing a bunch of momentum, nice volume in the market, right? Now, in this point over here, markets start to thin out as we move into after hours trading. You can see these candles a little bit thin, a little bit nasty. Markets are pretty much thinning out. Now, once we get closer to the London market open, markets will start to reinvigorate. There'll be more activity, more flow, more volume, more activity. And this will potentially cause and trigger a breakout. Now, usually when you catch these breakouts, the first breakout of the day tends to trend for quite a bit of time. And this might be a really good early way for you to catch a particular trade. So go have a look, investigate. At the time that you watch this, let me know down in the comments below what's your feedback. Did it break out? Was it a continuation? Was it a trade that would have been profitable for you? I would love to know directly from you. Other than that, guys, listen, we have a jam-packed day, part of Premium Plus, massive things coming up for the balance of this week as well as today. Other than that, guys, as always, share this video, hit the like and subscribe if we've earned it. And as always, remember, be safe, trade safe. And as always, I'll see you a little bit later. And until then, have an amazing day and goodbye.